Hello, hi guys. This is CA Balakrishna from Lecturepedia.in. How are you? Hope you people are doing well. Even I am fantastic. Now, in the today's class, we will be discussing question and answers from Audit of PSUs, Public Sector Undertakings. And this discussion, it will be completely from our question bank. And you can purchase this question bank along with Audit Concise book from the link that I will be giving you in the description. And if you want to purchase audit fast track classes, you can visit our website lecturepedia.in to place your order. Now, without any waste of time, let us start the discussion. First question. VM Limited, a company wholly owned by central government, was disinvested during the previous year, resulting in 40% of the shares being held by public. The shares were also listed on the BSE. Since the shares were listed, all the listing requirements were applicable, including publication of quarterly results, submission of information to the BSE, etc. Now, Sam, the finance manager of the company, is of the opinion that now the company is subject to stringent control by BSE and the markets. Therefore, the auditing requirements of a limited company in private sector under the Companies Act 2013 would be applicable to the company, and C&AG will not have any role to play. Comment upon. Now you all know that in case of government companies, in case of public sector undertakings, the auditor of the government companies must be appointed by C&AG, and in order to call a particular company as a government company, 51% or more of its shareholding must be held by either state government, central government, or one or two state governments, or both by central government or state government. They can hold it in any of those proportions, but it should be 51% or more. Now if you see in our situation, 40% has been disinvested to public, remaining 60% is still held with the government. So this company is a government company, and the auditor must be appointed by C&AG only. So the what is being said by our finance manager is completely wrong. Okay, is completely incorrect. Moving to the second question. What are the principles involved regarding propriety audit in case of public sector undertaking? First of all, what is meant by a propriety audit? Propriety audit stands for verification of transactions on the test of public interest and commonly accepted customs and standards of conduct. Basically, whether all the expenditures that has been incurred by government officers is incurred with the best interest of the public or not. This is the crux of propriety audit. This is what verified in propriety audit. Now there are four principles with respect to this propriety audit. What are they? First one, basically audit against propriety seeks to ensure that expenditure conforms to these principles. These four principles, what are they? First of all, the expenditure should not be prima facie more than the occasion demands. Okay, you should not spend more than the expenditure that is demanded by the occasion. Okay, and each officer should exercise the same care as he would exercise in case of his personal funds. Okay, if he is spending his own money, how much care he takes, the same type of care has to be taken while spending this public money also. This is the first principle. Next, no authority should exercise its power of sanctioning expenditure to pass an order which will directly or indirectly benefits to its own advantage. Okay, whatever the order that has been passed for incurring the expenditure should be for the good of all the public. It should not have any direct or indirect advantage to himself or any group of people. Okay, it should benefit all the people. Next, public money should not be utilized for the benefit of particular person or section of community. And apart from agreed remuneration or reward, no other avenue is kept open to indirectly benefit the management, personnel, employees, or others. Example, there should not be any bribery like things. Okay, the expenditure that is incurred should should be verified with respect to these four principles in case of propriety audit. Next, write a short note, write a short explanatory note on areas of propriety audit under section 143 subsection 1 of the Companies Act. Basically here there will be 6 areas. Auditor needs to inquire into these 6 areas, and if he finds any negative remarks in those areas, only then he needs to report on those areas. If nothing, no negative remarks is found, auditor need not report on these areas. Okay, if you remember companies audit, there we have discussed this section 143 subsection 1. What are the 6 propriety points that are present in this section 143 subsection 1? First of all, whether the loans and advances that has been given by the company are properly secured, and whether the terms of those loans and advances are prejudicial to the interest of the entity, that has to be inquired and reported by the auditor. Next, whether the transactions of the company which are represented by mere book entry are prejudicial to the interest of the entity. Next, whether the company, not being an investment company or a banking company, whether so much of uh, assets represented by investments are sold for a price less than the cost of acquisition. Okay, the auditor needs to check whether the investments of the entity have been sold at a price less than the cost of acquisition. Okay, however, this third point, it will not be applicable for investment company or a banking company. Whether the loans and advances made by the company have been shown as deposits, and whether the personal expenses have been charged to revenue account. Personal expenses of the directors or other personal expenses of the employees, they should not be charged to the company account. Okay, and where it is stated in the books of accounts that the company has allotted shares during the year for cash, and whether such cash has actually been received. If cash has not been received, whether that particular position is properly presented in the balance sheet or not. Okay, first of all, you should see whether during the year company has allotted any shares for cash. If yes, whether the cash has actually been received. If the cash has not been received, whether this is properly presented in balance sheet. Okay, so these are the 6 points of elements of propriety under section 143 subsection 1. These points, they have to be reported not only in the case of government company but also in case of all other companies. These points will be reported if auditor finds any negative remarks with respect to these 6 points. Hope that is clear. Next, write a short explanatory note on role of C&AG in the audit of government company. What is the role of C&AG in the audit of government company? First of all, appointment of auditor of government company will be done by C&AG, and after auditor has been appointed, that auditor, he will conduct the audit as per the directions given by the C&AG, and he will submit the report. After seeing that report, if C&AG finds that there are any missing areas or any areas not covered by the auditor, then C&AG can order for supplementary audit within 60 days from the date of receipt of that report. And also, third power is C&AG at its discretion can order for test audit. Okay, these are the roles of C&AG: appointment of auditor by C&AG, conducting of supplementary audit, and conducting of test audit. Next, question number 5. The Comptroller and Auditor General of India plays a key role in functioning of financial committees of Parliament and state legislature. He has come to be recognized as friend, philosopher, and guide of the committees. In view of the above, you are required to list down the roles of C&AG. Basically, what is the role of C&AG with respect to the work that is conducted by the committees? Now, these financial committees, there are 3 financial committees, right? Now, these committees, they will work based on the audit findings that are present in the reports submitted by C&AG. So, reports of C&AG forms the basis of committees working. Okay, committees will work based on the reports that has been submitted by the C&AG. That is, committees examine the issues raised by C&AG reports. Next, committees require assistance of C&AG for scrutinizing the notes which the ministries submit to these committees. Basically, various ministries, government ministries, they will submit the notes and various documentation relating to their department to these committees. Now, whether the information submitted by those departments is correct or not, to scrutinize it, C&AG will help to these committees. In this way also C&AG will help the committees. Next, reports of financial committees are being submitted to parliament or state legislature with their observations and recommendations. Now, to prepare these reports, C&AG will help the committees. Okay, committees, they will submit reports to the parliament, and in preparation of these reports, the C&AG will help the committees. Okay, next, question number 6. Sunlight Limited is a public sector undertaking engaged in production of electricity from solar power. It had commissioned a new project near Goa with a new technology for a cost of 5,750 crore. The project has seen delay in commencement and cost overrun. State the matters that comprehensive audit by C&AG may cover in reporting on performance and efficiency of this project. Basically, he's asking what will be the points that will be covered in case of comprehensive audit. Basically, comprehensive audit is like a 365-degree audit. Now, in this comprehensive audit, the auditor will check how does the overall capital cost of the project as compared with approved planned cost, whether the overall cost has increased when compared to approved planned cost. If increased, what are the reasons for this increase? That will be examined by the auditor in case of this comprehensive audit. Next, have the accepted production or operational outputs have been achieved? Okay, whether the decided outputs have been achieved or not. If outputs are not achieved, what are the reasons for not achieving those outputs? Next, has the planned rate of return have been achieved? Are the systems of project formulation and execution are sound and working properly? Okay, whether all the execution systems, project execution systems are working properly, and are cost control measures adequate, and are there any inefficiencies in the uh, implemented cost control measures? Even that has to be examined by the auditor. And are the purchase policies are adequate? Does the enterprise have research and development programs? And if the enterprise has an adequate system of repairs and maintenance, are procedures effective and economical? And is there any poor or insufficient or inefficient project planning? All these areas will be examined by the auditor in case of comprehensive audit. Next, write a short note on issues addressed in performance audit. Basically, whenever you see the term performance audit, you should remember 3 E's. First E, economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. Now, economy. What is meant by economy? Achieving the results with the lowest cost as possible is known as economy. Okay, spending as much as lower money to achieve the results, to achieve the objects, is known as working in a more economical manner. Next, efficiency. Now, this efficiency can be measured in two ways. Basically, this is a relation between input and output. First way to measure efficiency is achieving maximum output with the given input. That is first way of measuring efficiency. Second way of measuring efficiency is using minimum input for achieving the desired level of output. Okay, these are the two ways in which this efficiency can be measured. Okay, next, effectiveness. Basically, effectiveness is related to whether the desired objective, the end goals, the final result has been achieved or not. Let's say, for example, you are preparing for your CA examinations. Let's say you are preparing for both the groups. So your aim is to clear both the groups. That means 8 papers. This is your aim. Now you have given your examinations and you have cleared 8 papers. Then it will be said that you have worked more effectively because your end result is achieved. Let's say, just for example, you have cleared only 4 papers. Then there was only 50% effectiveness because only 50% of the results you were able to achieve. Let's say you are not able to clear anything, then you will say that there is no effectiveness, you have failed to achieve the objective. Okay, I pray that this situation should not happen. You should clear 8 papers. If you are writing both the group or if you are writing only single group, you must clear that group. Okay, so this is efficiency, effectiveness and economy that will be covered by the auditor in case of performance audit. And in case of each of this efficiency, there are certain points that has to be verified, and in effectiveness there are certain points that has to be verified. Here in case of effectiveness, basically if the question it asks about performance audit, then it is sufficient if you write 5 points for effectiveness. But if the question is exclusively related to effectiveness only, okay, it has not asked about economy or efficiency, okay, it has, the question is exclusively related to effectiveness, then it is better to write all the 10 points. Okay, next question number 8. You can just go through those points. Okay, they are not so difficult, you can cover them. Next question number 8. C&AG appointed a chartered accountant firm to conduct performance audit of COP Limited, a PSU of Government of India. The firm conducted the audit with a view to check all the expenses of unit or in conformity to the public interest and publicly accepted customs. Just a second. I'll once again read the question. Basically, I missed the question in middle. Now again. Question number 8. C&AG appointed a chartered accountant firm to conduct performance audit. Okay, performance audit means here it needs to verify economy, efficiency, effectiveness of COP Limited, a PSU of Government of India. However, the firm conduct the audit with a view to check all expenses of the unit or in conformity to the public interest and publicly accepted customs. That means firm has conducted propriety audit. See, it has been appointed to conduct performance audit, but it has conducted propriety audit. Now, the audit report submitted by the audit firm was rejected by C&AG. Yes, obviously C&AG will reject. Why? Because C&AG has appointed you to conduct performance audit. You have conducted propriety audit. Obviously C&AG will reject. Now, give your opinion on the action of C&AG. Obviously, what has been done by C&AG is obviously correct. Why? Because they have been appointed to conduct performance audit, but they have conducted propriety audit. You just need to explain what is meant by performance audit, what is meant by propriety audit, and why the C&AG has rejected the report. Okay, that would be question number 8. Next, question number 9. The board of directors of XYZ Limited is concerned with decreasing operating efficiency in material consumption. As an auditor entrusted with investigating the causes for this poor state, what may be the areas of your focus in this respect? Basically, there is a company and their operating efficiency of material consumption has decreased. That means they are achieving less output with the given number of input. Okay, their efficiency has decreased, they are not able to achieve maximum output. So to identify the causes for this, the company has appointed you as an auditor. Now, what are the areas that you will verify? Basically, you can say that this is a efficiency. This audit is related to efficiency. Okay. Now, here auditor should make analytical procedure to compare the material consumption with output for the current year as well as previous year. First of all, auditor needs to conduct analytical procedures by comparing input output ratio of previous year with the input output ratio of current year, whether there is any decrease when compared to the previous year. This type of analysis has to be done primarily by the auditor. Next, the internal control system should be studied. Okay, what is the internal control system that is in place in the entity has to be studied. Next, auditor should have discussion with different personnel of the company, including production personnel. Okay, he should discuss with various people within the organization. Okay, what they are thinking about the situation, why they are thinking that the output has fallen drastically, why the efficiency has decreased drastically. Okay, auditor needs to discuss this with various personnel within the organization. The production process, scheduling, machine usage, material mix should be studied. Okay, these various aspects has to be studied by the auditor to identify whether there are any flaws in these areas. Okay, if auditor finds any flaws in these areas, he can fix them. Okay, he can suggest the management to fix it, so that the again the output will increase. Okay, efficiency will increase. Next, a reconciliation of variations as to various causes such as price, quantity, efficiency are to be analyzed. Auditor needs to perform a reconciliation and analyze the same. The budget, standard costing and other management information system reports should be called for and studied. Auditor needs to study various budgets and management information system reports. And auditor should also once verify the internal audit report to find out whether the internal auditors have reported any pilferage or fraud in the materials, in the input materials. Okay, and finally the key material should be picked up for a detailed study for their ordering. Okay, auditor, he needs to verify, he needs to first of all identify the key input material, and with respect to this input material, he needs to study its entire life cycle, that is ordering, from whom it is being ordered, receipts, okay, how it is being received into the factory, and issue, how it is being issued for consumption, and normal loss yield and percentage. Okay, normal loss yield percentage, all these should be studied by the auditor with respect to key input raw materials. Okay, so these are the various points that the auditor can cover to identify the reasons for decreased efficiency in material consumption. Next, question number 10, a basic question, general question you can say. Hari and Company, a chartered accountant firm, has been appointed by C&AG for performance audit of sugar industry. What factors should be considered by ABG and Co while planning performance audit of sugar industry? Performance audit means economy, efficiency, effectiveness. But here he is asking what factors to be considered while planning. Okay, so in planning stage, what areas to be considered by the auditor, which is a general answer. Okay, first of all, understand the entity or program, define the objectives and scope of audit, determine the audit criteria, decide audit approach, develop audit questions, assessing audit team skills and whether outside expertise is required to take up this audit, and prepare audit design matrix, establish timetable and resources, and intimation of audit program to the audit entities. A very general points. Normal. Okay, not only for performance audit, even for other types of audits also, we will plan it in the same manner only. Next question. Question number 11. You have been appointed as auditor of AKY Limited. After having determined the audit objectives, now you have been requested to draft audit criteria. What are the sources that you will use while doing the task? Now, first of all, you need to understand what is the difference between objective and audit criteria. Let's say, for example, in audit of financial statements, management, they will prepare the financial statements, and auditor will have to audit these financial statements. Now, while auditing these financial statements, the objective of the auditor is to obtain reasonable assurance that the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatements, whether due to fraud or error, and that the financial statements are showing true and fair view. This is the objective of the auditor. Now, in order to achieve this objective, auditor has to compare these financial statements with audit criteria. What could be audit criteria? Management has prepared these financial statements with the help of either Ind AS or AS. Okay, as per the requirements of Ind AS or AS, the financial statements are prepared, and they have followed the Schedule 3 format. So all these will become audit criteria. Auditor, he will compare the financial statements with audit criteria to achieve his audit objective. Okay. So this is the difference between audit objective and audit criteria. Now, in our question, audit objective has been decided. Now you need to frame the audit criteria. Now, in order to frame the audit criteria, which sources you will uh, use? Okay, from which sources you will determine the audit criteria? Okay, simply in order to understand it even more simpler way, audit criteria is like benchmark. Okay, you will compare the financials with the benchmark, or any the particular audit item with the benchmark. So how this audit criteria can be framed? Let us see. Now, audit criteria or standards used to determine whether a program meets or exceeds expectations. It provides a context for understanding the results of audit. Now, the audit criteria may be sought to be obtained from the following sources. What are those sources? First one, procedure manuals of the entity. Auditor can go through various procedure manuals of the entity. Okay. Now, whether the activities that has been conducted by the entity or as per the activities have been conducted by following the procedures that have been listed in the manuals of the entity, this auditor can check. Okay, so the procedure manual can become the benchmark, can become the audit criteria. In the same way, policies, standards, directives and guidelines that have been framed or issued. Next, criteria used by the same entity or other entities in similar activities or programs. Sorry. Now, which criteria is being used by other entities which are into same line of activity? Okay, the same criteria can be used by our entity also. Next, independent expert opinion and know-how. You can take independent expert opinion regarding the audit criteria, and new or established scientific knowledge and other reliable information. From this also you can determine the audit criteria, and general management and subject matter literature and research papers. Okay, from all these sources, auditor can gather audit criteria. Next, question number 12. The reports of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India on the audit of PSUs are presented to the Parliament and various state legislatures to facilitate a proper consideration. Enumerate the contents of audit report presented by C&AG. Now, the C&AG, it will appoint auditors to all the public sector undertakings, right? Now, the auditors of all those public sector undertakings, they will issue audit reports to the C&AG. Now, these audit reports, they has to be summarized and they has to be presented to the Parliament. Now, you cannot submit the same audit reports to the Parliament because they will not be having time to read all those audit reports. So, they have to be prepared in a summarized manner so that the people in the Parliament, they can read them in a lesser time possible. So how these audit reports will be presented to the Parliament? What are the contents of these audit reports? First of all, introduction containing the general review of working results of government companies. There will be a brief introduction regarding what are the working results during this particular financial year, how the government entities have performed, how various ministries have performed. Regarding this, a brief introduction will be given. After that, results of comprehensive appraisal of selected undertakings that has been conducted by the audit board, and also you will give significant results of audit of undertakings not taken up for appraisal by the board. Okay, you will present the results of comprehensive appraisal that have been taken up by the board, and you will also present significant results of those entities which have not been taken up for comprehensive appraisal. Next, you will give resume of company auditors reports submitted by them under the directions issued by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, and that of comments on accounts of government companies. Okay, all the audit reports you will summarize and you will give it in the form of a resume of all the audit reports. So these are contents of audit reports that will be presented to the parliament by C&AG. Next, the objective of audit in connection with state electricity distribution company were to ascertain whether the total cost of providing electricity is being recovered by timely submissions to state electricity regulatory commission, that is economy. Okay, they are verifying economy. Tariff orders, sales circular and sales instruction were issued timely without any ambiguity. They were implemented in time, that is efficiency. They are verifying efficiency. Basically, they are doing performance audit. Now, metering, billing and collecting was managed efficiently and effectively. Monitoring and internal controls were efficient. So, by seeing these terms, we can come to a conclusion that they are doing performance audit. Now, what he is asking, what kind of audit this is? Yes, this is a performance audit. He is also asking you prepare 2 sample observations which could be part of audit report. You need to assume the observations and give your answer. First of all, you will say that this is a performance audit, and the 2 observations that can be given is non-replacement of defective or burnt meters. What happens if the non-working meters are not replaced? In that case, the meters won't show the correct amount that has to be charged to the customers, because the electricity that is consumed by the customers will be charged. Okay, you can charge the customer only through the amount that is shown in the meter. If the meter is not working properly, then you cannot charge proper amount to the customer. So this could be one of the observation that you can give. Next, undercharging of meter rent. Basically, for meters, the department they will charge some rent. Now, let's say in our example, what they are saying, as per schedule of charges, the company is required to charge meter rent of 30 per month for single phase meter and 40 per month for 3-phase meter. See, all this you need to assume. All this information, it is not given in the question. Okay, you need to assume and you should give your observation. Meter. It was observed that the company had short charged meter rent of 60 lakhs from 3 lakh customers in 5 lakh bills during the period. So these are the 2 observations that you can give in your report. Okay. By this, we have completed discussion of question and answers from audit of PSUs. Now, I have been receiving many questions from the students asking whether it is sufficient if we just see this question and answer discussion video and just go through question bank. No, it is obviously not sufficient. This question bank is just to practice how the questions will be framed. Okay, it is suggestible, and it is highly suggested to go through the content of each chapter. And if you try to go through the content with the help of ICA study material, there you might not find it in an interesting way. So and also there the content will be huge. Okay, it will not be in a summarized format. There the content will be will run into paras. So what you can do is you can purchase our audit concise book. Okay, in this audit concise book, what I have done is I have not compromised on the concept. Okay, each and every concept that is present in the ICS study material is present in the audit concise also, but it is presented in a friendly manner. Okay, in a reader friendly manner it is designed, but all the key terms and all the key terms are present, and no concept is missed. Okay, so you must read audit concise book also along with this question bank. Only question bank is not sufficient. Hope that is clear. So with this, I'll be winding up this class as of now. We'll meet in the next class. Take care. Bye bye. See you.